My name is Sarah. In 2021, I moved into a cheap studio apartment on the fourth floor of a pre-war building. It was small, but it was mine. The landlord told me the unit next to me, 4B, had been vacant for months. He lied. I had been living there for about 3 weeks when it started. My bed was pushed up against the wall that I shared with apartment 4B. It started with scratching. It was 2 a.m. I woke up because I thought there was a mouse in the wall. The scratching was rhythmic. It would start at the bottom of the wall near the floorboards and slowly move up toward the ceiling. Then it would stop and start again at the bottom. I banged on the wall. "Quiet down!" I yelled, assuming it was a rat or a squirrel stuck in the drywall. The scratching stopped immediately. The next morning, I called the landlord. He laughed it off. "It's an old building, Sarah, probably just pipes settling. Besides, 4B is empty. I haven't shown it to anyone in weeks." I tried to believe him, but 2 nights later, the scratching turned into whispering. I was lying in bed, reading. The room was silent. Then, from the other side of the wall, inches from my ear, I heard a voice. It sounded like a man having a conversation with himself. I pressed my ear against the cold plaster. "She's awake. She's reading. Blue light." My blood froze. I wasn't using a lamp. I was reading on my tablet. The blue light. He knew I was using a tablet. I jumped out of bed and pulled the dresser away from the wall. There were no holes, no cracks. How could he see me? I slept on the couch in the living area that night. The next day, I became obsessed. I went out into the hallway and stood in front of door 4B. The for rent sign was still there, curling with age. I tried the knob, locked. I put my ear to the door, silence. I felt like I was going crazy. Maybe I was imagining it. That night, a snowstorm hit the city. I was stuck inside. Around midnight, I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth. My bathroom shared a wall with 4B's bathroom. Above the sink, there was an old rusted ventilation grate. As I was brushing, I saw movement behind the grate. I froze. I leaned in closer to the mirror. The grate was screwed shut, but the slats were wide enough to see through. Through the dust and cobwebs, I saw a single human eye staring back at me. I screamed and stumbled back, dropping my toothbrush. The eye didn't blink. It just stared. Then a voice came through the vent, clear as day. "You look pretty when you're scared, Sarah." I didn't think. I ran. I grabbed my keys, ran out of my apartment, and pounded on the door of the neighbor across the hall, Mr. Henderson. He was an old veteran. He opened the door, saw my face, and pulled me inside. We called the police. When the cops arrived, the landlord had to come with the master key to open apartment 4B. They opened the door. The apartment was empty, no furniture, just dust. But then, one of the officers noticed something in the bathroom of 4B. The mirror above the sink, the one that matched mine, had been removed. Behind it was the wall cavity. The intruder had cut a hole in the drywall so he could sit inside the wall, right behind my vent. And in the living room, they found a sleeping bag rolled up in the closet, and scattered all over the floor were Polaroids. They were photos of me. Photos of me sleeping. Photos of me eating. Photos of me changing. He had drilled a tiny hole, no bigger than a pinhead, through the wall behind my headboard. That's what the scratching sound was. He was drilling. He had been watching me sleep from inches away for weeks. They never found him. The fire escape window in 4B was open. He had slipped out into the snowstorm while I was running to the neighbor's house. I moved out the next day. I broke my lease. I didn't care about the deposit. Now, whenever I move into a new place, the first thing I do is unscrew every single vent cover and check for holes. And I never ever put my bed against a shared wall, because walls are thin and you never know who is listening on the other side.